Oh, good evening. Welcome to Co-Creating the New Earth Together. I'm here with Karen McCabe. You got your name wrong there.
All right.
It's been a crazy day, folks, so just bear with me, please. Yeah, Karen is a partner in the new social media platform, The Way. You may remember Catherine Waldron, who's here with us tonight as well, who was on the show talking about The Way a few weeks ago. There are two elements to it. One, the platform where everyone connects to provide information and resources that are aligned with the new earth. And that's what we're trying to do here on this channel.
Absolutely.
A place to come for uncensored information, inspiration, and support about alternatives to our current system. The antidote. Everyone can connect and link through waytube, waychat, and waychi, and we're going to talk about all those in a minute. Other platforms can also link and have the benefit of our security and protocols, and I'm hoping to join this channel up with you in the very near future when I can get the technical side of it sorted out.
Wonderful. Wonderful. That's the whole ethos. We want to connect people and unite to create a secure and powerful message of the new earth. So basically we all come together united. So as we all connect, we're stronger.
I think that's a very important thing. But before we launch into The Way, if you don't mind, Karen, you've also got another idea, haven't you, that you're working on? I don't know whether you call it a plan or a dream. I'm not quite sure how far advanced it is yet. But a place where we can all come together to advance spiritually along our own paths without being funneled into one particular channel. Do you want to speak a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. My journey started about 4 years ago. So this is something I'm very passionate about from my own experience. And as I've gone along my journey and having experiences of awakening, what I found was I experienced quite a few challenges, and one of them was projection from other people. And I felt that it hindered my awareness and my journey, because I started to kind of battle a little bit because I was believing what was outside of me and not trusting what I felt to be true for me, which I feel is happening right now in the world. There's a lot of projection. People have all these ideas and beliefs about what's happening. And, we're all trying to discern what's the truth. And when we go on this awakening journey, it's very important to allow it to unfold and allow ourselves to be guided. And I used to take myself off into the park, and I kind of lived in the park a little bit. And I suppose you could liken it a little bit to Eckhart Tolle sitting on his bench for 2 years. And but I just felt I needed somewhere to ground. And some people perceive my behaviour as being a little bit odd at times, because I used to walk around barefoot in the middle of winter to ground and sit on the ground, and a lot of changes happened very quickly overnight. So people were very concerned about me, and rightly so. The identity of Karen was dropping away very fast, and they didn't recognize this person in front of them who was behaving in very different ways, and they didn't really recognize, and were saying all sorts of things which could be perceived as being crazy. And my moods were up and down with the energy. I was going through this ego deconstruction, so a lot of fear was coming up. So the projection really affected me in the fact that I would go into immense fear, because I'd start to question there was something wrong with me. And when you're battling that and trying to go through a process yourself and make sense of it, it's extremely challenging. So my kind of oasis, my sanctuary, was to go and sit in the park or get into nature. And so it's felt like this vision for me to build something where people can come, and it's a safe place. They can come to nature, they can allow everything to unfold. And what I felt was on my journey, I went traveling and I tapped into lots of different modalities. So on any given day, I could decide what I wanted to do. So today I might want to do some yoga, or I might want to do some ecstatic dance, explore plant medicine, so like cacao. So all these things were available to me, fortunately, and I chose what I felt I needed on a particular day. And I was fortunate enough to go traveling around Southeast Asia, and so I'd have the beach and I'd go to like have a cleanse in the sea and the sun.
Lovely.
And
yeah,
so I was very fortunate, but I felt guided to do that trip. I'd never done anything like it. I'd never traveled on my own. My life was literally falling apart, and I just took this massive leap. So what I came back, I mean, I wanted to build it out there, but fortunately, I was kind of guided onto another path, because I think, if I had gone down that direction, I'd have been stuck in Thailand, and then the pandemic would have unfolded. So I'm now back in the UK. I've been back in the UK for about 3 years, and I wanted to create somewhere where people could come and allow this process to unfold without any judgment, to feel that they could do whatever they wanted, as part of their process, and to be self-guided. It's so important, I felt. So that's like a big dream of mine, a big vision, and I am aligned with people. People have contacted me. I'm connected with a lot of people who have very similar visions. I think it's kind of in the collective within the communities that are aware, and it seems to be like a common thread. So I kind of put this call out. I felt very guided to put it out on Facebook last week, just to say, I want to build this with other people. It's part of the new earth. I see that, the system we're living in, it can be extremely overwhelming. It's not aligned with people. So, there's so many people who feel the same way. So why not come together and create something,
Yeah, I think that's beautiful.
Resources and try to generate.
So are you trying to set up a sighted group with land? Is that what you're trying to do?
I'm open to all suggestions, but I kind of see it as kind of a small, tranquil place with a few sustainable buildings where people can come and stay, or they can come and visit for the day, where workshops can be run, and retreats. So kind of multi-purpose, site really. But people can come for prolonged lengths of time should they need it,
So what do you need, Karen, in order to set that up? Funds?
I do need funds, people, resources. I put my trust in the universe. I always hand this over, set the intention and tap into that energy and invite that. By putting that intention out into the world, I'm creating that energy of intention. So what I feel is the more of us who come together with the same vision, we create the energy. We create this big vortex of energy based on this high vibration, and we build it together. So yeah, the people, ideally first the people to come together to talk about it, to say what they can offer, what they want to see created, whether we're all aligned. And then if anybody's got any skills, resources, I know we live in a world where we need money, unfortunately. But if we can force it, it would be brilliant.
Yeah. So what sort of resources do you need? What sort of people do you need? People with skills?
Well, anybody who feels really aligned. So, people who can build things, who've got, the skills to build physical buildings, who've got the access to low cost resources, who've got the connections, and who want to come and offer whatever they want to give. If it's a healing space, so ideally people who have got the skills and expertise to support people going through awakening, who've perhaps been through their awakening process themselves, who've had challenges, who may have even been perceived as being mentally unwell, you know, who've gone through these challenges. From my experience of depression and anxiety, my soul was literally screaming out that it didn't want to live in this society anymore. And that was what was causing the depression, I feel. And I see it in so many people, you know, they all say the same, I can't live in this society anymore the way it is. So what I would like to invite people who have this understanding that not all mental illness is a label. I'm not saying mental illness, there aren't mental illnesses out there, but the underlying causes of mental illness, you know, we have these textbook cases and labels, but also it can be the soul crying out, you know. And I know I had people project labels onto me when I was going through my experience. You know, at one time I was perceived as being bipolar because I'd have these extreme energetic highs and be blissful and extremely high, I suppose. And then I would have periods of low, because it's like the polarization until I came back into some kind of balance. So I think having people who understand the process of awakening, who haven't just got a foot in the medical model, they've got a foot also in an awareness of spiritual awakening. And so looking for people like maybe spiritual psychologists. I know from my experience, there was one book that was really helpful to me, which was The Leap by Steve Taylor, and he's a spiritual psychologist, and he looks at examples of people who have been labeled as mentally ill, and they talk about their experience and the kind of links with their spiritual awakening and the perceived mental illness. It really helped me to understand what I was experiencing. So yeah, I think it's a balance of both. You know, we have the Western medical model, but also we don't have this understanding that they have in like the Eastern philosophies, or, you know, the shamans in South America. You know, it's part of human evolution.
I mean, we're brought up in the society, aren't we, from school, to conform, to sit quietly behind the desk and do as we're told and pay attention, and not to complain and not to rebel. And so are some of us, and I mean, I've been one since I was a very small child, who do rebel against that, and I don't feel comfortable in that kind of environment, and I never have felt comfortable in that kind of environment. And I mean, that was a long time ago. I mean, I'm getting on now, but it certainly got worse the last couple of years. And that's why I wrote my book, Love Not Fear, because I wrote that a few years back, about 5 years ago now, because I just thought I could just see that the way society was going, we were just heading in the wrong direction completely. We were living from a state of fear and meanness, and as far as I'm concerned, it's fear which causes the meanness. Rather than love and generosity. And I just wrote a book about it because it was bothering me. But yeah, I mean, fully behind your plan. I really hope it gets there. So anyone who's watching now or on the replay, most of you will be watching on the replay on Facebook, on YouTube. Sorry, I'm tired tonight. I've had a crazy day. Right. Then please do get in touch with Karen, and I'll put her contact details below in the description on the YouTube version of this video, so you can contact her about it. And I hope you get lots of replies.
Thank you. I really appreciate this opportunity to talk about it. So thank you for the invitation.
I'm very glad that you're on, because this is what this channel is all about.
Yeah.
It's giving a voice to people who are trying to make a difference.
Yeah.
In their own unique ways. And we're all trying to make a difference in our own unique ways, all different. So I'm very grateful to you for coming on. And there's people like you that make this channel work.
Thank you. I'm feeling there's so many of us who want to co-create a new way of being, and to find your channel and now to be connected with it. And I know some of the people that you've had on and you've interviewed, like Emma Barker, who did the meditation. And, you know, I see so many familiar faces, and it's amazing that I'm here, and, you know, I've made these connections in the past. So it does feel like this time is a time of uniting and coming together. And we're coming into this kind of unity consciousness almost, because we can't carry on the way we are.
Well, I keep saying, and I did a video about this a little while ago, that the people who want to live in the new earth better start co-creating it now. Don't leave it to other people. We need all hands on deck rowing. And we don't need anybody drilling holes in the bottom of the boat.
I get a sense as we all
together.
Yeah, I think as we all become the example, we start to build, and people start to see what is being created. Those that are kind of still entrenched in this current reality that's playing out, that doesn't serve us, are going to start to look at, oh, look what they're doing over there. I want to be in there. I don't want to be in this life anymore. I don't want to be in a system where, you know, my government doesn't care about me, or, you know, I'm not valued, and, you know, all these conditions are put on me, and I'm on this treadmill. I don't want to be like that. I want to be over there with them people. It looks like that's the way I want to live. And I think the more of us that do it will shift humanity into a new way of being, because we're just being the example. It's kind of like, I feel like there's a tipping point now we've reached.
Absolutely.
And we're just going over the edge now.
I think it's inevitable. It's got to happen. It's bound to happen.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it'll only happen if we make it happen.
Yeah. People got to choose it.
I don't know whether you saw the thing Pam Gregory put out a couple of days ago.
The Ghost Theatre.
Yes.
Yes, that she spoke my language. I was like, yes, this is like what I've been thinking and talking about for so long. And she put it so succinctly, and it resonated with me so much.
I'll put a link to that below too. It's
yes,
really good.
It's a must watch.
Yeah. I mean, she said that the future isn't fixed. The astrological, this is what I've always said, the astrological alignments, configurations, something can be well aspected. There's a good probability of it happening because of what's happening in the or whether it's happening because of what's happening in the cosmos, or whether it's just that the two things are connected. It's like the story of the two sticks, isn't it, on the beach? I don't know whether you've heard that one.
I haven't.
Well, there's these two sticks on the beach sticking up in the sand, and a big wave comes and knocks them both over. And somebody who wasn't aware of the wave thought one stick had caused the other one to fall over. Yeah?
Yeah.
So I'm not saying what the cause is or what the effect is, or whether it's all just part of a third cause that we don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think astrology certainly helps to point out what is well aspected, what is likely, what is probable. But we still have to do the work to make it happen. Yeah.
I'm a great believer in wherever you put your attention creates your reality, because our thoughts are energy. So the more that we fixate on something, and I know I keep getting pulled into what I call the story every now and again, with something playing out, which is, you know, a distraction, and everybody's talking about it, and then I'll start to see it on Facebook or wherever, and it'll start to get louder, and then I start to feel my energy dip. And that's when I realize I'm caught up in that, and the thoughts have started to come in again. And then I have to come and bring myself present and do a bit of grounding and centering, and then refocus. And it's a constant process. And I think it gets easier the more that you become aware, and it's just stepping out of the story and taking yourself out of that reality and creating the one that you want to create.
That's why I was so grateful to Emma Barker Hall for the that you mentioned her earlier, to the video, the meditation that she did for this channel. And if you haven't seen it, then please go onto the channel, onto the YouTube channel, and look it up, because it's really, really good. It's a daily meditation that we can all do, a guided visualization to help us to visualize the new earth, to keep our vision aligned with what we want, and not to get dragged down the
latest distraction.
Dragged into the distractions and the stories, and he did that and she did that, and they're going to do
this
that
celebrity is doing this today, and it's all the big theatre.
But focus on the love and not the fear porn.
Yeah, exactly it.
And that's what that video really helps people to do, and I'm so grateful for doing it.
And while you mention Emma, could I just say she's doing some amazing work with the people with regard to the People's Health Alliance. I don't know if she's talked about that, but I'm seeing these amazing hubs coming to life just in a matter of I think it's even about 6 weeks since they launched their website. And these are the kind of things that I feel very aligned with, because these systems are breaking down, these current systems we have, and these new systems that are springing up that are built by the people for the people, and people are giving their time and energy, knowing that they're not getting paid for it, they're volunteers, most people, and they are giving to humanity to create something amazing, because these systems aren't going to be there for us. That's
right, absolutely. I totally lost my track what I was going to say there.
Sorry, I've taken you off track talking about Emma. Sorry.
Really. I'm just old and tired.
There's a lot going on.
Well, there's been a lot going on in my life today, and I mean, I won't go into that. But it's important just to keep focused on where we're going and not be dragged down the fear porn route. So where does the way fit into this?
Right, well, I'll briefly talk about that. So much I could say, but we came together about 2 years ago. Catherine gathered all these people together because she kind of had this, what you would call word download, which was way showers. And so she felt guided to create this platform with a group of us. So over the last 2 years, we've been building this in the background. It's changed many times. It started out as one thing. Initially we were there trying to battle the system. We want to wake people up. We've got to share what we think we know. And what I felt and Catherine felt was, how can we discern what's true? We've got all these stories going on, and do we really want to be sharing this stuff? We want to create a platform where people are in that energy of feeling safe, and I would say in the energy of love, a high vibration, who are like-minded, and those who are kind of starting to see the world very differently, have got somewhere to come and feel that they are supported and that they have access to the things they need. So it's kind of changed, and it constantly changes, because as the world changes and our energy changes and we become more aware of the way we want to create it, it's unfolding, and we see it as being quite malleable, but ultimately at this point in time we have created a social media where we are sharing our blogs, our inspiration, anything that we feel is supportive to people. And then we've got the waychat, which people can communicate with each other. And we've just got the waytube, that's up and running, and we are looking at doing live streaming through that. So if you want to compare it a little bit to what's available, it's the equivalent of the social media that's out there currently, and the way the YouTube, and the messenger type service. But the difference is that we are registered under Icelandic protocols, which means we have we are not censored, so we're registered there. And we also have what we call open source. So this means that a lot of different businesses use these services. So to remove our platform would mean taking down these other businesses, because it's an open source service. So we're kind of in a bit of a unique position, really. We see that waytube is somewhere where people can put content on. There might be things that people want to share and discuss, but and that is the free speech element. People have the right to have a voice and share what they think is happening in the world, or anything that they've got evidence of. And what we want to do is try and keep the social media in that energy of love, because like you say, you end up with the fear porn, people commenting. We want to move away from that. We want to create somewhere where people can speak and share, but ultimately that is a container that we want to keep in that energy of love. If people want to discuss things on the waychat, they're free to share. And what the great thing is about that, you can create your own groups, you can create your own communities. And we have what we call a town square. So if you need to get a message out very quickly to everybody who's registered, you can post something there and everybody can see it. So it's a great thing for communities as well. So they can set their own private groups up, but they can also get messages out to communities and connect with other communities as well. So there is a lot of scope for these services, but we've done this on an extremely tight budget. It's basically, we've been paying for the servers ourselves. Everybody has given their time freely, their energy, their time, and put the content on. We've all done that for nothing. We've done that because we see this as a platform for the people, and we want to give it to the people. We don't want to be the shareholders. We want everybody to own a piece of that, to be a member, and to be a part of it. So there isn't one overall member, or there's like a percentage of people who own it. So nobody could come and take it over. It belongs to the people. So that's the intention behind it.
So is the interface, is it more like Facebook, or is it more like Telegram? We've
got a Facebook equivalent where you can upload blogs and videos and things. But we've also got the waytube, which is pretty much similar to things like Rumble and YouTube. The chat is pretty much the same as your Telegram type services, but there are some slight differences, and the layout's a bit different, and it just gets you have to kind of take a bit of time to get familiar with it, just like you would with any new platform. So it's very similar, but there are things that are a little bit different in navigating the site.
So would I be welcome to put my shows on there?
Absolutely. There is an element to monetize it as well as part of the waytube. So yeah, there is you can create you can generate money from it.
And how would one go about opening an account?
If you go to waychi.org and you can register there, we've just put in a process for a single sign-on. So once you go and log in there, you'll log into the 3 sites, and then you could create an account on the waytube, and that's it.
Well,
I should be doing your videos.
I should be doing that later today. That's wonderful. Because now I'm recording these on Zoom. It's so easy. I've got a recording and I can put it up in as many different places as I want.
Yeah.
Whereas before, when I used to stream directly to YouTube and to Facebook and to 2 other channels, and that was it. I was limited to just that. but now I can, because I'm not live to those channels, I'm recording. I can upload to as many different channels as I want after the show.
Yeah, you'd be very welcome to set your account up there, and you know, that's the kind of content we want. Anybody who's creating anything that's alternative to the current system, we want to create the alternative. So I see it as a big resource where people can go and find the information quite easily all in one place. So it could be about education, alternative education, alternative health and well-being, alternative financial system, sustainability, growing food, permaculture, you know, you name it. These are the kind of things that we would invite people to put their content on about. So I see the way things are going with the current systems of social media. You know, there's the censorship, even putting things on about, you know, vitamins and supplements. People are not getting their content seen. I know from my own business with regard to well-being, you know, that information is now not reaching people it used to reach because of the algorithms. And I think this is just going to get, you know, harder to get these kind of things out there. This information is you know, of benefit to people who want to change their way of living and their way of being. So, you know, we're welcoming that. We want people to create content. We want people to be contributors. And if anybody wants to come and speak to us, we're inviting them to connect with us through the email, which is together@waychi.org. And you know, anybody who can help us. We've been doing this on our own, you know, we've put our own money into this. This is, you know, been of cost to us. And what we are, you know, what we are asking for is, if you come and use our site or platform, please help us grow. And there's a help us grow button on there where you can contribute should you wish. It's like everything, you know, we try and make it accessible to people, but, you know, without a contribution, if we become overwhelmed, we cannot sustain ourselves. No. You know, we're on these limited resources of servers. You know, we have to buy new servers and we have to pay for them. So, you know, in the future, we'll be looking at like maybe creating a membership service as well for extra content. So there's lots of things we still need to work out. You know, it's one of these things that's growing. You know, it's not stagnant, and as it grows, we need the support to help it grow. You know, so.
Karen, can you just give me the email address again?
Together@waychi.org.
Waychi, okay, yeah.
I can send it to you and add it to the comment.
Yeah, I'll put it all below.
Thank you.
And all the other links. Because I want this to work as well.
Yeah, I think there'll be similar platforms springing up, and that's another thing that we would like to offer is a connection, because of our high levels of security, which I haven't gone into detail here, but we want to link with other platforms so that we can create strength should they become attacked for any reason or hacked, or, you know, we have these very secure services that can help people to, you know, keep their sites safe and their platforms.
Yeah, I think the big ones, Facebook in particular, and YouTube, probably number 2, they've really shot themselves in the foot with their toxic culture of censorship. It's going to collapse. People are moving away from it, and it's going to collapse. Yeah,
I'm already seeing this. My notifications have reduced. I get maybe 1 or 2 a day now, and I don't know whether that's because in the past I've posted things and there's keywords that people, you know, the algorithms pick up on, or whether people are just moving away. And I think people are getting to the point now where they want to switch off. I think it's become a bit of an addiction though, you know, you've got to wean yourself off it. But if there's like an alternative that's more appealing that we are building, then people will move over because they'll feel that that's more aligned with them. And that's kind of the intention.
Well, that's right. The big ones are where the numbers are. And I
Mm,
have to be a part of those platforms because that's where the numbers are.
yeah.
But it's changing. I mean, I've had 2 YouTube shows taken down so far,
Wow.
and I haven't posted anything particularly controversial.
Yeah.
And one time I was just quoting figures off the government website and I had it taken
Mm,
down. So, I mean, if they're going to carry on like that, what is the point? You know, people aren't going
yeah.
to be interested. And Facebook, I don't think it's an exaggeration to say I'm probably banned more than I'm not. And I've
If you
just,
haven't been banned, there's something wrong.
and I'm not controversial.
No, you don't have to be. This is the point I'm making, just expressing yourself from a place of love sometimes, and what you're trying to share to help people is being suppressed. It doesn't make sense, does it?
It doesn't make
I
any
think
sense at
somebody,
all. And the fake
yeah.
fact checkers,
Oh,
I mean, that is just a joke.
yeah.
A couple of many, well, I don't know, I haven't quantified it, I haven't kept count, but quite often I'll click on CY, or whatever they call it, and the fact check has got absolutely nothing to do with what I said in the post.
No,
Nothing to do with it whatsoever.
it's a bot. There's lots of bots about.
And there's one thing that I shared recently in English, and they had the audacity to put the fact check up in Danish. I mean, how the hell are you supposed to know what they're objecting to?
I'm interested in what the metaverse is going to look like.
Oh.
I won't go there.
Well,
Do we want to live in a reality where we're just experiencing everything through these goggles, or do we want to experience it with our own eyes?
most of us already are, Karen. That's the problem.
Well, this is the point. Yes, it's very true. Yeah, we're being sucked into that system if we're not careful.
But I've always said we can't take down the system. It's too big and too powerful and too ingrained. It's been going for thousands of years, since Babylon and Sumeria, and it's just been getting worse and worse and worse every generation. There's no way we can take it down. But what we can do is to build our own alternative system and make their system obsolete.
Oh, that's just like what I share. Buckmaster Fuller.
And they're defenseless against that.
Yeah.
Absolutely defenseless about that. Stop using all the big multinational corporations. Use local suppliers, little local independent shops, not members of big chains. Local, get your food from local farms, organic food from local farms. Don't go to the supermarket. And the more we can live like that, the more we're contributing to making their system obsolete.
Yeah. It's lifestyle changes for people, just the small things. If you change one thing, every so often, you start to move in that direction. I think the independent businesses, the small businesses, need our support more than ever, because they're the ones that suffer the most. These corporations get bailed out, or they don't pay any tax. For some reason they're tax exempt. And then the small businesses are absolutely hammered. And we're now entering a time where things are becoming more expensive. There's rapid increases, inflation, and these are the people who need our support. The big businesses will always be all right. So we need to take care of our local businesses, our local communities, and support each other.
Well, we used to, I live in Stafford. You're up in Lancashire.
Leek.
Aren't you? Leek. Okay. That's not far. And we used to have this really lovely greengrocers.
Yeah.
Just off the high street. And in an oldie worldy thatched building. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. It's now a funeral director's.
Oh.
Now, to me, that's just a little bit indicative of what's going on generally, isn't it?
It is.
The way the high streets are dying. The way
well, everything is going online. You know, the human contact is now diminishing. You know, people are going to be losing their jobs, you know, if we don't keep contributing. I mean, we have a wonderful thing in Leek, which is called Totally Local, and all the businesses support each other. They all buy from each other. So
that's brilliant. Yeah.
The money stays in the local community, and if you spend that money in that community, it's circulating. So everything needs to be localized. Even, you know, I feel like the government, you know, we should be creating from a local level. We should be being heard from a local level, because, you know, in London, people representing us do not have an idea of what is going on in their own town.
The people in London don't represent us.
No, exactly.
They represent themselves. If you vote for any member of parliament who's a member of a political party, then that member of parliament represents his or her party, not you.
Yes.
And we've got to get that through to people. They're not there to represent you. They're there to represent their party.
I've seemed to have been on a journey recently in the last year where I've been connecting with people who are doing amazing things and want to bring things locally. And there was a gentleman who was standing for the Freedom Alliance Party, and he was absolutely amazing. His ideas and what he wanted to do and bring everything local, you know, asking the people what they needed. You know, we've just been through a pandemic and people have been in lockdown and they're struggling. And, you know, we've got children in schools who've gone through this and suffered psychologically. They've experienced this period of time where, you know, it's going to affect them for the rest of their life. So many people have been affected psychologically, and, you know, it's going to have a massive impact. So we need local resources. We need to ask people, what do you need? And we need to be able to supply them. And this MP, well, he stood for MP, didn't get him, but he just really spoke to me. You know, this is how we should be doing it. And there are so many people out there trying to make change. You know, it's wonderful to see.
I mean, the trauma levels are going to be massive, aren't they, as a result of this? We're going to have so many in the next generation. We're going to have so many damaged adults because of the events of the last 2 years.
Yeah.
I mean, how horrific must it be to at a young, impressionable age, to see everybody walking around in masks?
And children rely on facial expressions to kind of understand. They read body language. You know, they don't have verbal communication. To not see someone's face is going to have a massive impact on their development. You know, and you know, that's just the tip of an iceberg, isn't it?
Yes, but as I say, or as you say, the important thing is not to focus on that now.
Yeah,
but to
create something.
To create something better.
Yeah, and we support whatever unfolds in the future. It's like you say, it's not a set future. Anything that arises, we can then have resources in place for people to support them, which is, you know, going back to building these. I call it an ashram. It's like a safe space for people to come and be and recharge and rest and reset and tap into all the things that they need for themselves, because the soul knows what it needs. I always think, you know, from my experience, people telling me, I think you need this, you know, or you should do this. It's projecting what people believe they think you need, rather than allowing that person to make the decision for themselves, to create their own path of well-being or awakening, or whatever they're going through. The soul will lead the way if it's allowed to.
That's beautiful, Karen. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I really hope it takes off for you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for this opportunity. And it's been lovely to talk to you.
And anyone who wants to get involved, I will put Karen's contact details down below in the description. So please do contact her, and let's make this happen.
Yes, and let's get this content on our waytube.
Let's get the whole way thing up and running as well, and let's make that happen. It needs people. So, and this channel also needs people. So, please do support this channel. Please do like and subscribe, and share if you like it, and tell your friends about it, because that's how we grow. So thank you very much for coming on tonight, Karen.
Thank you, Jack. It's been a pleasure to speak to you.
And
I hope we speak to each other again in the near future.
I hope we do. It's been an inspiring show. Next Friday, I've got a gentleman coming on who used to work in the big pharma industry. He's going to be shedding some light on some of the things that go on there. So that should be fun. So please do come along and watch that. And on the Mondays, don't forget, we also have the Love Not Fear show that I do with either with Paul or Annie, most of you know us. And I'm not sure what we're going to be talking about next Monday, but I'm sure we'll come up with something near the time. So thanks, everybody. Thanks, Karen.
Thank you, Jack. Thank you. Thanks, everybody, for joining us.
Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you.
Yeah, hang on.